Hello everyone, and welcome to my CBS Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The romance between Ridge and Brooke falters due to Hope's forgiveness. According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester have been getting along great lately. Naturally, it has been quite beneficial that Brooke and Steffi Forrester have put their differences behind them. Will Brooke's forgiveness of her daughter, Hope Logan, cause conflict between Ridge and Brooke? Hope made the decision that she was tired of Forrester Creations' propensity to ignore her. Since returning to Forrester Creations, Hope had been denied the chance to revitalize her line. Hope didn't think her clothes brand would be revived because it was constantly put back. When Eric Forrester decided to work for Logan but later changed his mind, it didn't help. Eric created drawings that belonged to Logan, then objected to their use. It was Eric who essentially begged for a job. Hope was shelved once more and was utterly frustrated when Eric returned. Like Eric, Hope betrayed Logan for the Forresters. Hope may have betrayed the Forresters, but that doesn't change the fact that she is still Brooke's daughter. Brooke wants her daughter to return to Forrester because she loves her. But if her daughter returns to her, Brooke could be pleased. Despite her anger, Brooke would gladly pardon her daughter, at least in some situations. If Brooke finds out that Hope was attacked and passed out at work, she will undoubtedly be worried. While some speculate that it was a panic attack, others think there might be more to it. Brooke would undoubtedly worry what happened to her daughter if she finds out that Hope fainted. Will Brooke rush to check on her daughter? When Brooke sees how distressed Hope is by everything, she might find herself forgiving her daughter. Because of everything that has transpired, Brooke loves her daughter and doesn't want her to get sick. Brooke might start to comprehend Hope's motivations and seek to reconcile with her child. Sadly, Ridge and Steffi are unlikely to be amenable to a Hope and Brooke reunion. Hope's decision to relocate to Logan has not pleased either of these two. The preparations for the upcoming Forrester line have been destroyed by Hope. Will Ridge's forgiveness of her daughter cause conflict with Brooke? Will their disagreements compel Brooke and Ridge to part ways once more? Dylan gets her man at last. Everyone will be talking about Will Spencer Jr. and Electra Forrester's most recent split this week on The Bold and the Beautiful. Dollar Bill Jr. is now officially single and back on the market, and the Forresters ban Electra from reconciling with RJ's assailant. Will Dylan approach her before the eligible bachelor is taken by someone else? Will Spencer Jr. is reportedly highly attractive and won't need to remain unmarried for very long. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Will attempt to drown his sorrows this week at the Bikini Bar, where he will have to beat off the unmarried women with a stick. He won't need to search long for someone to confide in about Electra Forrester's breakup with him. In the meantime, it appears that Melissa Dillon and RJ Forrester's romance ended as soon as it began. When Dylan finds out that Will and Electra are truly over, she will be secretly ecstatic. Will she initiate contact? This week's B&B teasers for the CBS serial opera indicate that Dylan will receive some support from one of her new acquaintances at the FC office. Now that Will Spencer is back on the market, Jessica will urge Electra's assistant to overlook caution and pursue him. It's obvious that Electra will freak out after what she, Will, and Dylan have gone through. Dylan repeatedly assured her that she would avoid her boyfriend. However, Will Spencer is no longer her boyfriend. Is Dylan a better fit for Will Spencer, in your opinion? If she begins spending time with her ex-boyfriend, would Electra harass her? Lee's cunning baby deal, does history recur with Daphne? According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne Rose Walton receives unfavorable news regarding her desire to become a mother. The nose will not be able to conceive in the traditional manner. This does not preclude her from becoming a mother in the future, but we do wonder if Lee Finnegan may unexpectedly conceive a miraculous child that needs a home. To learn more about this hypothesis, continue reading. Crushed by Daphne Rose Walton. Let's start with Daphne, who has sought Lee's assistance in identifying the reasons for her conception failures. Since she married Carter Walton, the woman has been attempting to conceive. Their pregnancy tests have all come back negative. Carter and Daphne were eager to begin a family. When Lee informs Daphne that she is infertile, they will undoubtedly be devastated. Steffi Forrester Finnegan may be with Daphne when Lee breaks the news, based on a preview footage. That will be beneficial because Daphne will require a friend to help her through this difficult time. Daphne will then have to share Lee's words with Carter. Carter will likely be even more distraught than Daphne. The Baby Solution by Lee Finnegan. According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne didn't develop baby fever until she married Carter. But Carter has long yearned for his own family. Carter has frequently hoped for the full package, children, a wife, and a picket fence, during each failed marriage and cancelled engagement. I believe that Carter may be more devastated than Daphne. This could also indicate that Carter is more motivated than Daphne to realize his family's ambition. How does that relate to Lee, then? Lee adopted John Finn Finnegan, as everyone is aware. Lee and Finn's relationship is undeniably strong. It demonstrates that love need not be related by blood. So, may Carter go to Lee and ask for assistance in getting pregnant? The future of Melissa Dillon. Not only is it feasible, but it's quite likely. Over the years, Carter was present for all the adoption chaos and baby switches. Carter would never desire a child who was legally someone else's. But what if a young woman was placed in an unfeasible circumstance? One that insisted on confidentiality and privacy? Could Lee's predicament with Jack Finnegan be repeated by Carter and Daphne? Dillon gives in to temptation, derailing Daphne's life. There will be spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. We can anticipate Daphne Rose Walton receiving heartbreaking news in this episode. Melissa Dillon, meanwhile, is faced with a temptation that has the potential to destroy her entire life. Discover what will happen next in the CBS soap opera by continuing to read. The appointment of Daphne Rose Walton. Let's begin with Daphne, who has been attempting to conceive with Carter Walton. They continue to have negative pregnancy tests in spite of their best efforts. Daphne now wants to confirm that her lack of conception is not due to a medical condition. The nose hopes that all will become evident or that the issue preventing pregnancy can be resolved. The bombshell of Lee Finnegan. Lee Finnegan appears to have some terrible news to deliver, which is unfortunate. Daphne must be informed by the doctor of the test results. Daphne will most likely be informed that she is infertile because it doesn't seem like good news. This would have prevented a couple from becoming parents many decades ago. However, there are several solutions available nowadays. All Daphne and Carter have to do is determine what is best for them. Daphne and Carter may need some time to come to terms with the possibility that their family may not look exactly how they had envisioned. Melissa Dillon's ethical conundrum. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Dillon recently learned that Electra Forrester had moved out of the beach house. Even though Electra stated that she would never be able to be with Will Spencer again, her sentiments are still present. Dillon is probably going to pursue Will, but if she does, she might lose everything. By pursuing her friend's ex-partner, Dillon is defying the female code. She would also be Plan B, but I understand that Dillon still has feelings. Who wants to be the backup girl for a guy? Who? Nobody. Either way, Dillon will need to consider his options carefully. I could see her attempting to conceal her relationship with Will. But soon enough, Electra would learn, and that would be enough to destroy both Dillon's new job and their friendship. Will, on the other hand, has been instructed to simply move on from Electra. Stay tuned because Will won't be able to accomplish that. Will's pity party, Electra's predicament, and Daphne's heartbreak. There will be spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. We shall witness Daphne Rose Walton's response to becoming infertile in tomorrow's episode. Will Spencer, meanwhile, is overcome with guilt. Discover what will happen next in the CBS soap opera by continuing to read. This post will begin with Melissa Dillon. Fans witnessed Dillon attempt to comfort Will in Tuesday's show, but Will simply turned away. Dillon's eyes rolled back at that point. The next thing we know, a passionate Dillon is ambushing Will. I am aware that Jessica urged Dillon to pursue Will. It's still unlikely, though, that Dillon would attack Will in that manner. Dillon passed out, and I'm betting she's dreaming. The official spoilers also make it quite evident that Will's guilt over his falsehoods consumes him. It doesn't sound like Will and Dylan have an affair. In fact, it seems like he is only considering Electra and not Dylan at all. Therefore, I believe it's reasonable to presume that Will is still pouting over his girlfriend and Dylan had some sort of medical crisis. Naturally, Will could feel bad if he finds out that he left when Dylan passed out, but Electra won't. According to Wednesday, July 15 spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Electra is frequently informed that the Forresters and Spencers are incompatible. Even though Electra is aware of that in her mind, her affections for Will remain. It won't be long until Electra and Will begin seeing each other in secret. Daphne will be taken aback by Lee Finnegan's diagnosis. The woman was just informed that she is experiencing early menopause and is infertile. Additionally, it was mentioned that Lee is not often Daphne's physician. There was an emergency with Daphne's usual physician. Could Lee have made mistakes with the case files, then? In any event, Carter Walton will also be devastated. Carter will want to support his wife, but he will also need to deal with his own sadness. Steffi helps her friend in the interim. What will become of Daphne and Carter's family dreams? What impact will this have on the marriage of the couple? Why Steffi and Sheila might already be losing their battle. Both ladies have failed to recognize the structural change between Steffi and Sheila. Steffi thought she had a solid defense against a creature that could not be saved. Sheila believed she was making a well-thought-out argument for fundamental maternal rights. The conflict had moved from an external threat to an inside marital drift, but neither woman acknowledged it. The absolute assurance of shared trauma is the foundation of Steffi's faith in Finn. The limit is unchangeable in her opinion. Sheila shot them both, abandoned them, and continued to pose a threat to their lives. But fans of B&B saw a significant change in Finn's personal contacts with Sheila. Finn hugged Sheila during their sensitive moments and kept referring to her as Mom. The stark contrast shows that Finn has already weakened his internal defenses, whereas Steffi anticipates a coordinated response. By consenting to lobby Steffi on behalf of his mother, he did not postpone the inevitable collision. In the past, Sheila used overt fear, contrived crises, and extortion to gain ground. The episode on Monday demonstrated a long-term tactical change. Sheila used neither guilt nor fear to change Finn's emotional landscape. Sheila presented herself as a fragile, devastated woman who gave up her happiness in order to see a glimpse of salvation rather than as a persistent menace. She presented her desire for monitored visits as a desperate need for an emotional lifeline rather than as a demand. Finn's empathy was thus immediately sparked by Sheila's demonstration of selflessness and self-awareness. Sheila inspired a sincere desire in him to save his biological mother instead of making him make a decision out of guilt. Sheila has already gotten over Steffi's security protocols. Sheila has already gained the leverage that Steffi finds difficult to overcome by turning Finn from a victim into an eager supporter. She runs the danger of ruining her own marriage if she decides to do so. Daphne is comforted by Steffi during a difficult moment. As they struggle to conceive, Daphne has been depending on her husband, Carter. Their suffering has been kept under wraps. On the soap opera, however, Steffi is the second person she is closest to. Since Daphne relocated to Los Angeles from Paris, they have supported one another. Daphne's bachelorette party was planned by Steffi, who also supported her during her wedding. They are truthful with one another in both their personal and professional life. They had been buddies for years because of this. Will and Electra are once again at odds over honesty, or rather, Electra's lack of it. He failed to inform her that Hope had left Forrester for Logan, so she moved out of the beach house. Will also kept the hope for the future Diamond and the fashion startup's jewelry line a secret. He didn't put her first, Electra informed him. She anticipated that he would not conceal anything from her, including business decisions about which he had taken an oath of secrecy. Will's father, Bill, has advised him to do the right thing.